Hey guys, long time no see. So today I'm going to do my tutorial on how I made this wool wig. I have a tutorial already for wool wigs in my DeviantArt, and I'll attach a link below or right here as you can see. But I thought I'd elaborate a little bit more on this technique and what I'm doing it for. So this wig is for Huntress Wizard from Adventure Time. She's a character who shows up for like maybe 5 minutes in one episode, but she's got actually a lot of a fan following, and I really liked her design. I just figured I'd do it for Emerald City Comic Con, which is coming up in about 2 weeks. So all I did was take an old army olive t-shirt, cut it up into this pattern right here for the wig cap, and then I attached a little elastic at the neck so that it would be snug. But the wig ended up being too big anyway, and just sewing down the seams made it fit nice and snugly on my head. Then I started going over with this roving, which is loose unspun wool. And this wool, once spun, will become yarn, but at this stage of the process is just loose dyed sheep's wool. And I take my needle felting tool and I attach it directly onto the cap, using the styrofoam as a replacement for what would traditionally be a felting block. I don't actually have a felting block. I used this yellow couch insulation foam instead. You can see that when I use the needle felting tool, I'm stabbing these needles into the wool and through the wool into this foam block. And as I stab the wool, the barbs on the needles tangle the wool and felt it. So in this case, I have some pictures of the needle felting tool. I just took a cork and wrapped some tape around them so that I can make what's called a clove tool, which is pretty much just a bunch of needles together in one tool to speed up the process. So what I first did was figure out how I wanted to translate the designs of the wig into real life from the cartoon. So what I did was I just sort of started placing down these fake wool leaves at the nape of the neck and over the top of the cap, and then slowly working my way out. To achieve the leaf look, all you really want to do is take a section of the roving, tear it off from the whole piece. Usually when you buy roving, there's these giant like balls, and the process of tearing the roving can be a little tricky at first, but you want to get maybe like a 4-inch section and just take the ends and sort of like squeeze them together and sort of just with your hands mold it into that leaf shape. Then you place it on your felting block and you just start felting away. You just needle at the ends there, but don't actually needle at the center, just the ends so you get that very defined triangle point shape at the ends to get you that leaf shape. For more of the leaf impression, I actually took the needle and made or felted a line right down the center. The reason I didn't go with, say, felt from the store, like felt sheets, and then maybe stitch a leaf pattern in, was that I wanted to have more volume. I also wanted it to maintain the texture of hair, in terms of the sense that hair is these long strands of fiber, and this wool, before you felt it, has that strand look, but as you felt it, it starts to get matted and it looks more like a tangle or a clump of hair. So by doing it this way, I achieved the shape of the leaves and the impression of leaves, but also the impression of hair in one wig, which I thought was sort of a really cool concept, because I didn't want to just like use felt because it would have been really flat and cheap looking, and I didn't want to just use like fake leaves because I also felt that would have been really fake and kitschy. As you can see here, I'm doing some felting of the leaves. Doesn't give you an example of sort of how the process goes. And once I collected a few screen captures of the character, I just did a quick count of how, roughly how many layers of hair she had and how many leaves worth long her hair would be. And so while the wig itself is not completely accurate, it's actually pretty accurate to how her hair looks in the show. Like, for example, her bangs are composed of four leaves, and I did 2 light, 1 dark, 1 light, depending on whether the image is mirrored or not. But as you can see, I just sort of combined 2 leaves through the felting process. Initially, I was concerned that it wouldn't have enough structural integrity, so I was just going to sew the leaves together with a band of, say, ribbon. But then I realized the ribbon I bought was sort of pearlescent, and I didn't really want it to be artificial looking that way. I could easily just overlap the leaves and quickly needle felt them together. This process, unfortunately, is pretty fragile. The leaves themselves, unless they are completely felted, can tear apart. So take good care of the wig. The material itself is pretty malleable and delicate. So that's about it. I purposely made the wig so that it wouldn't have a lot of volume on top because I knew that I'd be going over it with a cap. But I'm really happy with how it came out, and if you see me at ECC, come say hi.